As you know, being a sticky beak and liking to know what's going on, I head around the region and we always head up and say good morning to Dubbo Mayor, Matthew Dickinson. But no, he's not actually in Dubbo this morning. Can you tell the listeners where you are at the moment?
I can, Kerry. I do actually like your honesty. I like your honesty that you are a sticky beak. Some people try and skirt around that, but you're quite upfront about that. That's great.
Yeah, I like to know what's going on, you know.
That's right. Well,
Person of my age needs to remember all that.
Yeah, fair enough.
So what are you doing in Canberra?
I'm in Canberra at the moment. It's a thing called the National General Assembly, which is a very fancy way of saying it's a conference for councils from across the entire nation. So we'll see people from Bathurst here, from Orange here, from all the councils around the region, and of course, councils across the entire nation. And it's a great way to just share ideas, talk to other councils. What are you doing in your area? What about this problem? How are you addressing that problem? And of course, being a National General Assembly in Canberra, we get a few of the ministers who come along and talk to us. And these are the new ministers, so they're probably keen to come along and talk to us about a whole range of things. So I'm looking forward to hearing from some of the ministers. I don't know who's turning up. I don't know what they're going to be talking about yet, but we'll hear a few things and maybe pick up a few tips and tricks about how we interact with the new federal government.
Sounds like a good idea to me. Now, listen, one of the things, of course, there's all sorts of highlights around the Dubbo Wellington area, but one of the probably, unsung heroes to a certain extent, I suppose, is the caves. And gee, I tell you what, this is a pretty big gong, isn't it?
It is. So I was actually in Perth on Friday, and I was picking up an award there on behalf of council in the entire region for the new exhibit at the Wellington Caves. Now, if you haven't been to the Wellington Caves in the last year, I absolutely recommend you go. There is an almost life-size diprotodon. Now, of course, you would know, but some of your listeners may not. The diprotodon is the largest megafauna ever to have roamed the earth, extinct maybe 20,000 years ago or so, and there's a life-size skeleton of that. Now, it's not an actual skeleton, it's a 3D printed skeleton. They found remains of the diprotodon there. The jawbone was the first part they found there at Wellington Caves area around about the 1830s, and that was the first example that was found across the world of a diprotodon. So from that, they did more digging, they found more parts of the skeleton, but obviously that skeleton is so rare and so precious that you don't just want to go and put it on display for people to come and look at and stick their fingers all over. So we did a 3D printed model of that. We then created, in conjunction with a company called Thylacine, a complete 3.4 metre by 14 metre immersive video wall that's interactive, and a lot of money was spent, about $700,000 on that exhibit. And in Perth last Friday, we won an award at the Museums and Galleries National Conference for the best exhibit in a gallery worth more than $500,000 across the nation. So that was a pretty big prize to win.
Very much so. Now listen, tomorrow, of course, budget comes down tomorrow. It's had more leaks than a sieve, I've got to say, just quietly, but more leaks than normal, in fact. So what are your thoughts on the budget for, the western area of the state, obviously?
We've got a really big thing, I think, that hopefully will be in the budget there. There's $2.5 million we hope will be allocated to regional skilled development or regional skilled migration. And so there's a group called Regional Cities New South Wales, which Bathurst is in, Orange is in, Dubbo's in, and we're hoping that that money is allocated to help cities, regional cities around the entire state, get those skills out of Sydney. We don't want them in Sydney, we want them out in the regions, and get those skills, specific skills that businesses are crying out for. Every business I talk to says they need more employees and they need them in certain skilled areas. So we hope there's some money in there that will absolutely help regional areas, like all these areas out here where we are, to get those specific skills. Other things we hope for in the budget, obviously roads and housing. We need more money for housing. There's a lot of talk about affordable housing, but a part of my hypothesis, Kerry, is that if we can just get more housing, that will satisfy some of that demand. And the reason housing is so expensive at the moment is because there's so much demand and not enough supply. And that obviously impacts affordable housing. If we can just get more housing, more development in housing, that will take a bit of that pressure off the supply, and that will bring that price down, and so that will give us more affordable housing as well.
Right. Okay, we'll have a look for that tomorrow and see what happens. Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
And look, enjoy Canberra, won't you?
I will, as best I can. It's a bit cold, but hopefully I satisfied your sticky beakness.
Oh, you did. You did. It's all under control. Thank you, sir. Talk to you later.
Thanks,
Bye.
Kerry.